I received and installed my CrossFire Dual Pressure Monitoring System a year ago. The kit is pretty impressive, pretty high quality. The installation, however, took a lot of thought, as these are not designed to be installed with Freightliner Class A diesel pusher motorhome wheel hats. I hope this video and my solution helps you out with your installation. I have driven 3,000 trouble-free miles since I've installed it. After thinking about this long and hard, I've decided to mount this to the center hat. The reason I've come up with that decision is it allows me to move it forward enough and not have anything interfere with the lug nut caps. If I were to mount it with the bracket it comes with on the actual lug nuts as it calls for, it will push it way outboard and the assembly will have interference with the rim. My way keeps the center of gravity, or CG, more towards the center point of the axle for better balancing. So I'm going to drill a hole where I measured from the back of the rim up here 4 inches. This is where I want to drill the mount bolt hole, and then I'll reinforce it on the underside of the cap with some large washers to give it that mounting support. In order to do that, we need to disassemble the hat for access to drill it up. Now on this side of the coach, the threads are left-handed, so we spin it to the right to loosen it. Okay, I'm going to do a starter hole with a 9/64 drill bit first. And I want to go 4 inches. Doesn't really matter where I drill it because we can rotate and put this at any position we want. Except I have a little damage on this cap, so if I mount it here, oh yeah, we'll do that. That way when this is mounted, it'll cover up that little mark there. So we'll go ahead and pop it right there. Now we're going to step that up to a 3/8. Voila. Okay, so here's what I've come up with. I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 washers stacked together as a backing plate. And then I'm going to use this washer, and this is going to kind of hold this up off the top. So we're going to bolt that down just like that. Okay, but prior to doing that, because once that's bolted down, I'm not going to be able to take these screws out to actually thread the tire pressure monitoring system braided lines on, and so we need to do that first. So we'll set this aside. So I don't know why, but in the kit they give you, when you order the tire pressure monitoring kit, they give you the ends so you can have your tire pressure monitoring sensors hooked up right here. I would think they could have saved us a little bit of money if they would have taken these off and not sent them to us, since we ordered the tire pressure monitoring. But now we've got these extra braided lines that we're just not going to need. So we need to remove these 2 and then put on the tire pressure, or the TPS system lines. So it just takes a number 2 screwdriver. Go ahead and take these off. Okay, we can set these aside. We do not need those. However, we do need one of these and one of these. This is for the other side. Now what we have to do, when this is mounted on the center cap, we have to decide, okay, which one goes here? The one with the hook on it or the straight? So I'm going to run back to the RV and verify which one of these goes on which side. So what I've come up with is the one with the hook goes on the right hand side of the fill stem. So we're going to want to put it on just like this. And it's always a good idea to take some dielectric grease here and lube up these packings. And just give them a nice snug, just to lock them in a little bit. And the hook's done. Now we'll do the other side. Now we'll go ahead and mount it to the hat. I put a spacing washer, another washer, just so we can get it up in the air a little bit. (9/16) wrench to go ahead and tighten it up. Alright, we want to hold this center, try to keep it as centered as we get it as good and tight. And there we have it. So you can see we have the bolt going through. We have a double stack of washers for support. And then on this side we raised it up a little bit so it's not riding on the center cap. Got a little bit of gap between it. And now we're ready to go ahead and see if we can slip it on. So it just took a little bit of extra effort to slip it above that washer. Remember, these are left-handed threads on this side. The other side is normal righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. This is lefty-tighty, righty-loosey on this side. Okay, we want to make sure that we're perfectly centered between this air fitting and this one. And that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we got to rotate the cap if we want to be perfectly centered. It should be right about there. And then we'll go ahead and tighten it down. I think that about has it, but I'll just double check. Now for the fun, starting the threads. It was a little tight getting between the tires to tighten these down. But we finally got it. But they say you want to tighten it until the air leak stops and then one full turn. So I just got the air leak to stop. Now I'm going to continue to tighten it one full turn. 3/4. So we'll just go ahead and leave it right there. Now this one, I got my arm over the top of the tire, reaching down. And grab the wrench here. Just kind of go by feel. Okay, it's starting to leak now. So I tighten it until the leak stops. Okay, leak stopped. So now I go one more full turn. Okay, now all I got left to do here is to install my tire pressure monitoring pressure sensors. The inboard tire is going to be right here, and go ahead and put that on there. Now I'd like to show you what we did down here. So if you can see, the lower is connected there. I just took my wrench and I reached in between the tires, and you can see you can go ahead and install it and tighten. Okay, but this is already tight, so you can just for this one in here, you can reach over the top of the tire and drop the wrench down, and you can get it from that way. Alright, CrossFire Tire Pressure Equalizing System installed. Okay guys, now for the coolest part. Take a look at the CrossFire placard here. It tells you if it's yellow, you are normal pressure. If it's red, you're 10 psi over pressure. And if it's black, you're 10 psi under pressure. So what we need to do now is air this thing up until it goes to the yellow, which will tell me I'm 120 psi and normal pressure. So hey, let's go ahead and give it a shot. 15 pounds and 2 tires this size takes a lot of pressure. And with a home compressor, it takes a little bit. Well, that's it. We have successfully installed it.